Before we get to the Jon Stewart thing from last night, did you see the Jon Stewart
I did
clip?
not.
He's back, and it was good. We'll talk about that here in a second, but here's what KJP had to say about Biden's cognitive abilities.
I think that the idea of the president taking a cognition test, a cognitive test, as a part of this physical is a legitimate idea, particularly just on the heels of the special counsel report, more polling, as my colleague Selena just mentioned, showing that many American people have concerns about that.
Look, I got this question last week as well, and I'm just going to say what Dr. O'Connor, it's kind of what he said to me about a year ago when the report came out last year, obviously on his physical, which is the president proves every day how he operates, how he thinks.
Yes, he does.
Right? But by dealing with world leaders, by making really difficult decisions on behalf of the American people, whether it's domestic, whether it's national security. And so he shows it every day on how he thinks, how he operates. And so that is how Dr. O'Connor sees it, and that's how I'm going to leave it. I believe, for me, you're asking me my personal opinion, he is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information.
Like why they are there and what room he is in.
And what day is it?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Who am I?
Who am I? Where's Bo?
Where are we? Did you invite Bo to this meeting? Why is he not here?
He's constantly pushing for more information all the time. She's lying. Yeah. She's lying. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows that. Everyone in the room knows that she's lying. The sick thing that we've gotten to is everyone in the room knows she's lying. She knows that she's lying. She knows that everyone in the room knows that she's lying. And they know that she knows that she's lying. All of them have agreed upon this fake thing that they're going to do right now, where she says the words and they report them. And then us idiots out here are just supposed to believe it because these people said that it's so. No one believes it at all.
It's ridiculous.
Jon Stewart is back, I think, one day a week. I think on Mondays he's coming back and doing this. And this clip right here, which the original clip was 7 minutes.
But did he retire? Like what? I don't remember.
He left. He retired 9 years ago, I think.
9 years.
9 years. I know.
What has he been doing since?
He tried a show on Apple.
Oh, that's right.
Can't remember the name of it right now, but it was terrible. I couldn't make it through like 5 minutes of the show because it was just super hard, annoying lefty stuff. It was not the Daily Show format, which he is perfect for. Like the Daily Show was a good comedy show. Weirdly enough, it morphed into this thing where a lot of people our age considered it like their number one source of news. He actually covered things from both sides, which is what people are upset about. People on the left are upset with Jon Stewart right now because he talked about how Joe Biden is old. And it reminded me of the whole Wuhan, China coronavirus lab leak, and that he was the one. He kind of broke the glass ceiling. He changed the Overton window or whatever on it being acceptable to say that COVID leaked from a lab. And so I'm actually encouraged by the fact that he is out there doing this thing about Biden and about Trump, because maybe he's the kind of guy who's going to break this ceiling again, or going to change the way that we're allowed to talk about this.
It is not crazy to think that the oldest people in the history of the country to ever run for president might have some of these challenges. Now, Democrats will say that any criticism like this, especially of Biden, is unfair because you just don't know Biden like they know Biden.
President Biden is sharp, he's focused, he's bright.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart, he's on his game.
I was in almost every meeting with the president, and the president was in front of and on top of it all.
Did anyone film that?
Yeah.
Because if you're telling us behind the scenes he is sharp and full of energy and on top of it and really in control and leading, you should film that. That would be good to show to people instead of a TikTok where he goes, chocolate chip cookie. Of course, when it comes to Republicans, they've got a different strategy for their 77-year-old candidate.
Well, first of all, Donald Trump is not an old man.
He's an old man. He is objectively an old man on a human scale. Trump is objectively old. That is not being ageist. That is being human lifespanist. They are the oldest people ever to run for president, breaking by only 4 years the record that they set. The last time they ran, they are at the age, they are objectively old. They're at the age. You know what? I think we've got a new name for our election coverage. Indecision 2024 Antiques Roadshow. All right. What's crazy is thinking that we're the ones, as voters, who must silence concerns and criticisms. It is the candidate's job to assuage concerns, not the voter's job not to mention them. I didn't want to have to do this on my first day. Come over here. Look at me. Look what time hath wrought. Look, I'm like 20 years younger than these. The stakes of this election don't make Donald Trump's opponent less subject to scrutiny. It actually makes him more subject to scrutiny. If the barbarians are at the gate, you want Conan standing on the ramparts, not chocolate chip cookie guy. Look, the next 9 months or so, and maybe more than that depending on the coup schedule, they're gonna suck. You're gonna be getting emails with insane subject lines like, "Hello, John, it's Chuck Schumer. Donald Trump is right behind you with a knife." You're going to get inundated with robocalls and push polls and real polls, and people are going to tell you to rock the vote and be the vote and vote the vote and finger bang the vote. And it's all going to make you feel like Tuesday, November 5th is the only day that matters. And that day does matter. But man, November 6th ain't nothing to sneeze at, or November 7th. If your guy loses, bad things might happen, but the country is not over. And if your guy wins, the country is in no way saved. The work of making this world resemble one that you would prefer to live in is a lunch pail job, day in and day out. So the good news is, I'm not saying you don't have to worry about who wins the election. I'm saying you have to worry about every day before it and every day after, forever. Although, on the plus side, I am told that at some point, the sun will run out of hydrogen.
It's good. I didn't realize how much I missed seeing Jon Stewart on The Daily Show because Trevor Noah was terrible. Like after he left, they went like a strictly crazy leftist position. He actually left right before Trump took off. Actually, before the election, Jon Stewart left. And once Trump won, I mean, they just went crazy partisan leftist, and that's all it was. And it just was not funny because there has to be a little bit of truth in jokes for them to be funny. So nothing that they ever said was actually funny because things that people on the left believe often are not true. This could actually, I'm hoping, this could actually change some things, like when he was the first person to go out there on Colbert and say, of course this virus leaked from the lab in China.
Right.
Of course it did.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know? And right after that, we were allowed to talk about it. He was the guy who went out there and did it. And maybe this right here, him coming out here and saying, of course Joe Biden is too old. Of course he's not making any sense. We see it.
And so is Trump.
And so is Trump. They're both too old.
They're both old.
You know?
Yes.
So I'm hoping that maybe somehow this guy, Jon Stewart, is going to allow everyone to talk truthfully about some things. Now, he said some stuff at the end that I sort of took issue with, or that I wish wasn't true. When he's talking about how important the elections are, he's saying, you know, it's not just the 5th of November. It's every day after that. And he says it's not just that day that's important. It's every day leading up to it and every day after that, you know, making sure, you know.
And he kind of said the responsibility's on you. The onus is on you.
He did.
Go out and make the best day possible.
He said that even if your guy wins, it doesn't mean the country is saved after that. You know, it's on you. I sort of wish it wasn't the case that the government and that the president had so much power and influence in people's lives and in the world that wasn't the scale of how important the election was. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. They have so much more power than they should. And the fact that there are so many people that feel like their lives depend on the right person getting elected into these offices is a problem. You shouldn't just say, well, so we have to make sure we're vigilant and that they're doing the right stuff. No, we gotta tackle that problem right there. Why does this person have so much power that it's the case that your life depends on who wins?
That they constitutionally should not have.
Yeah, they should not. All these agencies they have that regulate everything to death and control our lives and the wars that we start and keep going forever, all these things, they shouldn't be happening. And that's the conversation I hope he has next.
Well, and here's the other thing. You would get better candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you wouldn't have narcissists seeking the position.
That's true.
You would actually have people who want to be public servants because that's all they would be able to do is serve the public.
Mm-hmm.
So you would actually get the right people in office, so to speak. Now, not perfect, of course. No one's perfect. But you would actually have the right people vying for the job, not people who are seeking power and want to control everything.
So it is cool to see. It's not cool to see. It's funny to make fun of them. People on the left and the left media coming out saying, oh, no, you can't do this thing that he used to do, which was that both sides were bad. Back when we weren't about to be in World War III if Trump gets elected, which was trending earlier on Twitter today. Funny enough, like the guy who didn't start any new wars versus the guy who we just had to spend another $95 billion to give the people who are at war right now because of what's going on in the world. Well, we haven't spent it yet. Sorry, they just voted on that. We'll see if it actually goes through. It will. Which guy's actually going to take us into World War III? They're saying that it's just too dangerous. The stakes are too high to do this. Both sides are equally bad thing. It's got to be a strictly you have to be against people on the right TV show.